A little while back, you couldn't go anywhere on the internet without seeing Marin's face plastered literally everywhere. I mean, dang near everyone was simping over her and over the anime itself. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I was left out. I didn't end up watching My Dress-Up Darling until recently, so I'm only like a year late, but it's my turn to slap Marin's face on a thumbnail and call it a day. Anyways, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I finally watched My Dress-Up Darling, so let's talk about it. This anime is somewhat in the romance genre. I feel like most of the themes revolve around subtle romance, so it only makes sense that we talk about the romance first. And to be completely honest, it was okay. There were some good aspects, but also some I didn't like. One of the positives is the female lead, Marin. Also, I've heard her name pronounced like 80 different ways. I've heard Marin, marinara sauce. I've heard like so many different pronunciations of her name, so I'm gonna stick with Marin, but like if I end up pronouncing it a different way, don't like stab me or anything, that's my fault. I'm dumb, so just give me a pass. But anyways, back on track here. Marin was actually the one falling in love, and this was vocalized in her head, and that's kind of cool to me because usually it's the male main character that's always simping, so it's nice to see the female perspective on that. And she was kind of like vocalizing this in her head and like calling Gojou cute. I think that's his name, Gojo or whatever, and she was like calling him cute in her head and all that good stuff. And I thought that was kind of cool because maybe it's just the anime that I watch or the romance anime that I watch, but usually it is the male lead character that is usually the one who vocalizes love for the female lead, but in this case it was the female lead vocalizing love towards the male lead, so it was a nice little switch up, and I thought that was rather cool. But one of the negative aspects that I basically hate is that there is very little progress being made in the relationship between Marin and Gojo, or Wakana, whatever you want to call him. Of course, Gojo becomes less shy, and they do grow closer and form somewhat of a bond, but My Dress-Up Darling falls into that nice little trope where both characters are absolutely terrified to do anything. They don't say I love you. Actually, I don't even think they end up getting together at all, even though both of them liked each other. At least that's what I thought they did. It's honestly kind of strange. I don't know why a lot of romance anime goes down this path of the, oh my god, someone of the opposite gender showing me attention, scary, but I guess I can't really hold it over this anime that much because damn near all romance anime does it. The last episode was kind of like whack just a little bit because it's like all romantical and stuff and kind of wholesome, then bam, it's over. That's it. That's the series. It felt rather abrupt, kind of leaves room for a season 2, but anyways, to get back on track here, the romance was solid, nothing special there. It wasn't terrible by any means. I just have my personal problems with it, and it gets kind of slightly annoying seeing that kind of stuff in anime because it's like 12 episodes of building up a relationship or romance, and it just ends up not being like a legit relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, or whatever combination you want to use. It's just kind of annoying, but it is like a common trope in anime. I don't know, I just find it weird. Maybe I'm used to Western media where everybody gets together in TV shows and movies and all that stuff. But like I said, the romance was solid. And to keep up with complimenting this anime, the comedy was an aspect that I quite enjoyed as well. And unfortunately, this is where my script ends, so you're gonna have to listen to me kind of freestyle this and be a little bit more of a babbling idiot because I usually have everything scripted out, but maybe this will be more genuine. Anyways, the comedy was something that I quite enjoyed, and I have to mention it because I always do. A lot of the comedy was the normal over-the-top anime stuff, and I always just call it over-the-top anime stuff because that's truly what it is. Like, you'll have Gojo or whatever smacking his head off of like a table or something, and they'll get all loud and screamy and certain things like that, which I don't really like hate that stuff at all. I just kind of prefer the more subtle comedy or something that's more set up and like, there's a punchline and all that kind of stuff. Not really like the biggest fan of the over-the-top anime style of comedy, but I can't hate on it at all because sometimes it was genuinely funny, and there's certain times that My Dress-Up Darling definitely got like an audible laugh out of me where I was like, yeah, that was pretty funny. And one of the moments that definitely stood out to me, to which I thought was absolutely hilarious, and I might have a stupid sense of humor for this one, but it's when the cosplayer Juju, or whatever her name was, they were meeting up in like a diner or something, a cafe or whatever, and Juju is a character that I'm sure it's on screen now. You can see she's a small character, but I believe she's actually older than our two main characters, Marin and Gojo, which that anime trope. But anyways, that's besides the point. You can see her, and she looks like that, and her younger sister, who's in middle school, Juju's in a second year in like high school or whatever, her younger sister in middle school gets revealed, and she looks like a grown adult. I don't know why I found that so funny, and I kind of seen it coming. Like, I knew that was going to happen. I kind of had a feeling that it was just going to be something like that because anime is weird. It was something that definitely got an audible laugh out of me, and I was like, yeah, that is hilarious. And it's something that's kind of ingrained into my mind at this point, to where I was like, that's hilarious. I like that. And it's kind of funny that even like a couple of days after the fact that I finished watching the anime, I still remember that. I guess that means it was a good joke and it landed on me quite well. But I definitely enjoyed the comedy. I thought it was a really great aspect of the anime, and it kind of had that little rom-com feeling, or whatever you want to call it, and it was quite enjoyable. And there's a cat outside my window meowing, and hopefully that doesn't pick up on the mic. Good God, this whole video is a shit show. But yeah, like I was saying, the comedy was definitely a great aspect, and it was something that I enjoyed because sometimes I really look for a romance or a comedy anime, and I like when they put those two together because it's just a relaxed viewing experience, and it resonates with me a little bit. I don't know if that'd be the perfect word for it, but it's like, yes, this is some good, easy watching while I do other things. It's quite nice. But going from complimenting this anime a lot to going over to more of a negative thing, I have to talk about the fan service. And if for some reason you've seen some of my other content before, I really do not like fan service. Fan service does not appeal to me in the slightest. I'm a certified fan service hater. That's just me. I am not the target demographic for fan service by any means. Now, I do firmly believe that fan service can be pulled off very well, and it'll be somewhat tasteful, and it doesn't really take away from the plot. I can kind of mention like Call of the Night. Call of the Night did have alright fan service. It didn't take away from the plot. It was just there. I don't enjoy it, but at least it's not like over the top crazy stuff constantly taking away from everything else. Now, My Dress-Up Darling was kind of in the middle there. Sometimes it was a little too much, and I was like, this is kind of whack, but at the same time, I kind of believe that it was tasteful and it wasn't the worst thing in the world. So it's kind of a negative for me, but not like a big one. I just don't like it in anime, like altogether. It has its place, sure, and it can be used for comedy, but sometimes it's like, this is weird. And I guess it has more of a place in romance anime as well, because, you know, romance, sensual stuff, or whatever you want to call it, it has its place. It definitely does, and I will not deny that. It's just, sometimes it's used in the wrong way. I think that would be the best way to put it. It's just, you know, something's going on, then, fan service, ooh, couldn't see it coming. Something that I don't really like all that much. But all around, I would say that My Dress-Up Darling is a solid anime, and I think I definitely understand the hype that surrounded it like a year ago or whatever, where it was all over the place, and even the hype that it still gets today, I definitely understand it because it was a solid watch. I'm not gonna lie, it got my attention quite a bit, and even though I'm a little bit late, I still feel like My Dress-Up Darling is a solid anime all around, and I would highly suggest giving it a watch. I don't think it'll necessarily disappoint you. It's quite nice, it's relaxed, and you know, it has a decent plot and all that good stuff. But yeah, give it a watch. It's really good. And I think that about does it for this video and all my rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Check the description for all my links, and I'll drop a synopsis for My Dress-Up Darling down there as well. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.